For Indie Rowdy number 45, my indie game series reviews, where I look at an indie game on the Switch and decide whether it gets to say indie Switch or gets booted outie. I wanted to look at these because I bought one of these games, and then if anyone else has done this, they probably noticed that other ones of them become like free to download at various times, or they get pushed by news updates and stuff like that. You have your Food Truck Tycoon, Breakfast Bar Tycoon, Burger Chef Tycoon, Food Truck Tycoon, Asian Cuisine, Pizza Bar Tycoon, and then Cooking Tycoon 3-in-1 bundle. Like I said, I think I bought one of these games that was about 9 cents, and since then it's been pushing other titles in the same franchise. And I just actually went to take a look at them just to see kind of what kind of games they were, just to see if there was like anything cool with them, and all of them are the exact same game. Now, I can't stress that enough. It's like the exact same layout, UI, buttons, and even the way the games play out. It's just a slightly different overlay with different foods, but played in the exact same way. I would think nearly if you were to play these games with like the same button presses, you would be completing any one of these titles. It's insane how similar they are. They're from Baltoro Games, I believe it is, but yeah, this is one where like I think Nintendo could do with actually maybe taking a look at the games these guys put out and maybe stopping them putting them out, because they are just way too similar. Effectively, every single title screen looks the exact same as this. And every single one of the in-game UI and gameplay is exactly like this. Now, don't get me wrong, the idea and premise of them all isn't terrible, but it is just a case of the games are exactly the same. Like, even down to the fact of every single game being based on a 3-star goal with the stages, making the same kind of a drink is on every single one of the counters. You have an ever increasingly complicated sort of cooking style that's being done, and like yeah, you have to like say this is one I haven't played this one yet much. You have a sandwich. I'm gonna guess you have a sandwich with ham on it first, then you get your sandwich with cheese and then tomatoes. There's the tomatoes you just unlock. You get the exact same things in all of the other games. In the burger game, it's the same thing. You start off with like plain burgers, then ones with tomatoes, then ones with cheese. This is a sandwich game. It's gonna be the exact same thing. It's just crazy to me how like absolutely little care there is with all of the games. And like you can pre-make this stuff beforehand, although at the start of the game that's not a great idea, because yeah, you clog up your stuff and you have to throw them away. But yeah, it is just a case of like the game is not bad. It's clearly just like a mobile phone type game that's like has no real place on the Switch, but at the same time it's like it's not bad, and it costs 9 cents. It's just a case of if you did like I did, whereby you got one of them really cheap, then you're going to be in a scenario where you probably have been offered like a whole bunch of them. And like I'm playing through this without even barely noticing what's going on with it, because of the fact that yeah, I have played this exact game even without having played this one so many times, even down to the money staying on the counter and not being collected when the stage ends on the final one. Like that same, I want to say glitch, this same interface is in all of these Tycoon games. And yeah, I don't even know what to say with this. It's crazy. It's like, okay, if you got one of them from 9 cents, perfect, fine, grand. If you end up then looking and seeing the fact that there's 6 of these things on your Switch, and yeah, it's just an insane waste of like space and time. And oh yeah, also you have to rely on the same kind of pictures in all of these games. So like yeah, I'm not going to be able to tell yeah, you get to a point where it's very difficult to actually see what customers want. Also, it's a button to make a coffee. Most of the other games, that thing you were making is like, say, fruit juice or something, whereby yeah, it just makes and then it stays there. And then later on you get something like an ice cream, which is like once you make it, it melts. But I'm gonna guess that even though coffee would get cold, because that drink is like the place of the fruit juice, which does not get cold or spoil in the other games, like it's not gonna make any difference if I leave that coffee there for an entire stage. But yeah, you will get like a kind of an ice cream machine, and there's the money on this counter again. And yeah, it's just like, again, not bad games, but insanely basic. You have yeah, once I go back, you have upgrades that you can get. This upgrade menu is the exact same on all of the different games. It's just to basically like decrease the waiting time or making more stuff. Like this exact same menu is in all the different titles. The same with the interior design is going to be to add plants, add seating, and add nicer paintwork to the actual thing. There's your seating, your lights, your plants, your different paintwork. Yeah, it is the exact same upgrade menu that is in all of the different titles. Even the achievements, I'd imagine this is going to be the same, where it's going to be like, do so many stages without losing a customer. There's achievements in the other games for losing a bunch of stages in a row, and there's one to play 150 minutes straight playing. I'm gonna guess that these are exactly the same. Yeah, with the serving the people, fail levels so many times in a row, play for 50 minutes straight, play for 150 minutes straight, and it's even called "Oh, it's 3 a.m." in the other game as well. Finish the levels without losing a client. Yeah, like these are all the exact same achievements which are in all of the games. The interface is copy pasted, the game is copy pasted, the controls are copy pasted, and they're not even particularly good. Yeah, I would just advise like nearly avoiding this one based on just the how horrible it is that Baltoro games have done that. So if you saw any game from them, like just know the fact that they have no issues in the slightest putting out the same. I don't want to say garbage because it's not a garbage game. It's just a case of when you have the same game 5 times in a row, then yeah, it's very, very garbagey. Just one thing as well, just in case somebody would think maybe you might just get one of those games and not notice it too much. So yeah, I don't know if you noticed this other thing that's on my menu, but if you were to get any one of these games, it wouldn't be too bad, right? Except for the fact that once you have one, they push the other titles as free downloads. So it's like, oh cool, I'm getting more games. No, it's just the same game over and over again. And then the worst one of these is once you have a couple of these titles, you get this thing, Cooking Tycoon 3-in-1 bundle. And it's so obvious then, because it's like 3 games inside in one. So you get your one menu that has your 3 different games inside them. Baltoro games. But yeah, the 3 different games are right there next to each other, but it's just the exact same games that are in the other title. So they're all identical. And yeah, you just click into each game, it loads up the title, and then you're presented with very obviously the same title over and over again. It is nuts that like they do not seem to care in the slightest that they are just putting out the same game over and over and over again, and then packaging it up as a here's a 3-in-1 bundle of 3 of the exact same game. Oh, it's nuts. Just genuinely, like, I have never seen something like this. I'm guessing like these kind of companies exist quite a lot on Android and the yeah, the Play Store there, but no, like not on the Switch. There's no excuse for this, and it's just really, really, really terrible. The fact that there is now like 6 titles at the very least on the eShop, which are all this game by this company. It's really, really just, yeah, really despicable. So I just took a look into the eShop because I actually wanted to see like what was the easiest way of finding the sizes of these titles. And yeah, not only did I see like the titles, but here under Baltoro Games' section, they also have Bar Tycoon and another game called Sushi Time, which are exactly the same as all of the other titles. So there's about 10 different titles in total on the eShop right now, which are effectively the exact same game or bundles of these same games. Now, the thing is as well about them, The file sizes for them range up to about 300 megs for the individual titles, and the 3-in-1 bundles are close on to 3/4 of a gig. So that means that there is around 2.5 gigs worth of space on my Switch filled up with these titles, which I'm going to be getting back as soon as I finish this review. These are crazy. Well, saying that, in my head I'm thinking I'm gonna keep one of them. I played through a good few stages of one of the games, and like, yeah, one of them isn't bad. But the thing is, 10 of them is bad. Yeah, like, as a kind of a completely just no brain kind of a sit down and play it for 5 minutes thing, these aren't the worst thing ever. It was just when I noticed the fact that my Switch had a ton of them on there, I was like, wait, where are these things coming from? It's, oh yeah, because they come as free bundles. So yeah, just get one of them if you like that kind of look of a game, maybe. But just be very careful in the fact that, like, there's a ton of them out there, and it's a shame because I'm guessing the idea with them is that they want to have one that's always a new release. So that happens if you just take the same game and release it every couple of weeks. It's a bit nuts, but yeah, for me, like I said, 9 of these are getting Outie. One of them can stay indie, but yeah, I just said I'd make a video on this one and bring it to attention a small bit. The fact that, like, why is there so many of the same game on the Switch? It's nuts. But yeah, guys, good luck. We'll see you on the next one of these. There's a sub button over my head if you like these indie game reviews. There's other content from me up there, which would be the Indie or Outie playlist. And over this side, there's one that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. So that's probably going to be something from Asphalt, which I cover Asphalt 9 Legends, a free-to-play game on the Switch. Quite a lot of. But yeah, guys, good luck, and I'll see you in the next Indie or Outie.